Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think I have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day.
We won't stop. We will not stop.
Sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right. It's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart. Doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now.
See this? How you cannot go?
Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in, you guys. Let's have a little conversation. We're not going to be here long today. The reason why we were looking at, it was posted that Corey Bigsby, let's talk about that for a minute real quick, that he had court today. But someone sent me the roster of court and they said that it was withdrawn. So evidently, Amina Matheny had filed a motion and she withdrawn a motion. So therefore, there was not no court. So I want you guys to know, family reached out, sent me a little picture and said, hey, there's not going to be no court today, SP. And they even gave me the proof it was not going to be court. So if you're wondering what happened in court today, because we got word that Corey was going to be in court today on the 25th, but it was a withdrawn. Now, let me see what it was, because I looked at it and I didn't know somebody had called. Let me see who called real quick. I looked at it and I didn't think nothing of it, but I didn't think, I didn't think it was going to be court. So, yeah, not court today. Okay, so if anybody find out any information other than they went to court and we didn't get it, let me know, you guys. Let me know. Okay. So let me look at the text messages, because there's people that's still down there in the Virginia area, you guys, and they may not be wanting to be known. I don't know if they do or they don't, but they still letting us know what's going on. And I'm not talking about Nancy. Okay. It says here, for those of you that is following the Cody Bixby case, which we are, September the 25th at 9 a.m. pre-trial. And it doesn't say a room, it doesn't say a plea, it doesn't say duration, it doesn't say jury, it says withdrawn. So the last two times they had it at 8:25. That was August the 25th. There was a pre-trial and it was a withdrawn there, and then there was a pre-trial, then there was a withdrawn. They had a pre-trial, the motion in June the 14th, and then he had bond on June the 21st, and it was granted. So it was a continual motion of defense. So Amina is working that thing, you guys. Y'all, I don't know. I must say, Amina, I'm gonna have to give her props. I really am. I don't, it doesn't matter if I like her or don't like her, but I mean, she's doing her job. And, I always said something negative about her. I'm not going to sit here and say, she's a good attorney, because, that's just my opinion. But looking at what's going on in this trial or this court case, I must say she got the odds stacked against her, and this woman is still a ticking. She's almost like that Energizer Bunny. It doesn't matter what you say about her or what you laugh about. She's still going strong for Corey. So I give her props on that. I really do. I tell you guys all the time, I ain't got to be in agreement with you. But if you show me that you've got some kind of, that stamina to keep going and keep, this woman's doing that. And so I give her props on it. And I don't say that to everybody or anybody, you guys know. But when I see that, you come in here and you're 100 all the time, consistent and stuff, I give you props. Like I say all the time, we got mods that come in here, and 9 times out of 10 you'll see Sandra Watts in the building. And Tina, was Tina here? Tina was here before, and then Woke the God was here. I don't know where Woke the God went. She where'd she go? There she is. She in here, 243. She's still here. Hey, come holler at a sister. How you doing? So anyway, you guys, we're just going to discuss this, and then, we're going to wait for more information, but we're going to move on to something bigger and better. I mean, not saying like bigger and better, like, oh, I can't wait for somebody else to get killed. No, I'm talking about something that is more conversational. I believe what I believe, you guys believe what you guys believe, until further or more information come out. I shared it with you yesterday. I wasn't even going to come on yesterday, but I had to go ahead and share it with you, because I thought it was like, when I hear something, I'm like, ooh, the sister-in-law from her first husband, she was talking to the news, and she said that this woman was just no good. Even her ex-husband's father said she's a bad person, that her ex-husband, he is still in counseling, because this woman pretty much drove him crazy. Like, the only way she was going to get her green card is to marry a man that was from the United States, and he married her. And she didn't want to be married. She wanted to party. And they said they didn't want to have nothing to do with her. So, the news was reaching out, and they're starting to learn some stuff. Now, this is just my forte on the whole situation, I'm pretty sure it's going to get really, really quiet. Why I say that is because that's the way usually things go. You know, I believe that's the way things usually go. And when you're dealing with these type of people, the best thing to do is shut your mouth. Unless, even if you know what you're talking about, it's just best to shut your mouth. Okay. And if you don't know what you're talking about, you need to shut your mouth because they don't play. They really don't. And this is a synthetic drug. What does that mean when it's a synthetic drug? We're talking about fentanyl now. That means it can be made. It don't have to be grown. It can be made in a laboratory. It can be made in a home. It can be made. If you have a place where you make it, and that's not the place where you make it. That's the place where they kind of distribute it. They break it down, or they make it into a pill, or they add it to. But I was doing a little research, and I want you guys to know that a couple of times when police officers have stopped a car or vehicle or person that had fentanyl on them, they got an even just in the vicinity, in an open area. If you Google it, police officers overdose on fentanyl. They passing out because they done stopped somebody that has it on them. And then that made me just think to myself, I could have been in danger myself because I didn't know what the guy had did, or did he have it on him. And we believe that, he probably had it in his, he was looking for it or something in his cigarette pack or something, because he was like, oh, you got my cigarette pack. But he started looking for something in the cigarette pack. I don't know what he was looking for. Maybe it fell or whatever. I don't know. But nevertheless, if I had been in contact with it, I would have been in the hospital myself, wondering, how did I get an overdose on fentanyl? I mean, we were outside in the parking lot. That is, like I said, it's always good to do research. Now, it ain't got to do with you touched it or there was dust. I'm just telling you guys, you have to Google it for yourself. I just looked at it myself, and these police officers had stopped this person. And it's not one time. Oh, it's a isolated incident. It was more than one time. It was many times where this person had fentanyl on them, and they arrested this person, and they found it. They put the stuff on top of the cop car, and the police officer is like, I'm getting dizzy. I'm getting really dizzy. And then they're giving them Narcan, and then they had to give this one officer Narcan 3-4 times. And so now I'm really thinking, when they gave the guy Narcan, when I was at work, he jumped up and he was like, I'm not going. He could have went right back into an overdose again. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that. So I always research things that I go through and things that I hear, so that I won't be ignorant to everything. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to know everything. And you guys, if you guys got it, I may not agree with what you say, but that's what makes us different in where we live. We do not have a epidemic or where there's people dying every day in where I live at. Now, there might be some overdoses going on because we've seen what happened. But what I'm saying is, it's not as bad as these bigger states and these towns. They already see the effect of what it's going to do and how it does it. By the time it gets us, we're going to know. We're going to know a little bit more than the ones that's been affected by it now, because it's done blown. They say it's better than heroin because you don't have to grow it, and you can make it all day. I feel sorry for a lot. But at first we were, everybody was like, it was a daycare. And as I, find more information and more information, I don't think it ever was a daycare, you guys. I think it had a daycare sign and some kids was there. And they say, well, the kids was there because the parents went to work or whatever, and they were coming to pick up the kids or something. Well, why was they coming to pick up the kids in the middle of the day? Noon. They were picking up the kids because it had all, I believe when the autopsy comes back, the distress that child was in was maybe like 2 hours, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours. They're like, well, the kids, when we were trying to wake up the kids from their nap, they wasn't waking up. You guys knew this at 11 o'clock, because that's when the first phone call went out at 11 o'clock. It went out to the husband, and the one woman came and picked up her kid. She said she took the kid home, and the kid was acting strange. So then she took the kid to the hospital, and they gave that child Narcan. That's not including the 3 that was still there and the one that died. So let's get that straight, you guys. That's a whole different child. Didn't not have anything to do with the 4, the 3 that was still there, the one that died, and the one that was upstairs. This is a child that was picked up at around about 11:30 and was taken to the hospital, and they gave that child Narcan. And I sit back and I think about it, and I say, well, why they didn't go to the daycare and shut that daycare down, or go see if the other kids, because what happened if it wasn't fentanyl? What happened if it was what is it? A gas, or monoxide, or whatever the gas is that you can ingest or something. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a gas leak or something. What if it was that, and you took your kid home, and you take your kid into the hospital, and what? They give the kid Narcan? No. No, these parents, then they took their kid into the hospital, or whoever took their kid to the hospital. I say the mother did. She probably told them what it was, but she probably did not tell them where that allegedly daycare was. So when we sit back and say, people come in here and say, SP, it was a front. Okay, why are you telling me something that I know? That doesn't even make sense to me. It's like, oh, really? Is that what you think it is? Like, I don't want to have that conversation. It's a front, but it never was a daycare. I don't believe that. I never believed it was a daycare. The lady that lived next door said that kids wasn't coming in, kids wasn't going out, kids just wasn't doing all that. You will be questioned at the hospital. I'm pretty sure they did question that young lady when she brought her kid in, and she probably told them because she didn't want her child to die. And them sitting there going, is it a gas odor, or did a spider bite the kid, or did the kid get a hold of some alcohol or whatever? And she basically told them or whatever what was going on. Fentanyl is no joke. My sister overdosed at the club with her friends, and she survived, but is mentally challenged. Can't even care for herself. And when talks, she hallucinates. It's so scary and sad. What you mean, Jacqueline? So, is she mentally challenged after the fentanyl? Or was she mentally challenged and somebody gave her fentanyl, or I mean, they didn't probably have to give it to her. She could have been just around it. That's the scary part about it. So was she mentally challenged and they tricked her into taking it or whatever? Or is she mentally challenged after the fentanyl overdose? Because, you know, once it's not that the fentanyl make you mentally challenged, but when you don't have the oxygen to the brain, it kills cells. I know that. It kills your brain cells, you know, and everything. They can tell by the dilation, 9N, the baby's pupil. They can tell by the dilation. Oh, in the baby. I know, but you know, all drugs, well, not all, but majority of drugs, your eyes will be dilated. So how would they know it was fentanyl, though? That's what I want to know, Jacqueline. See, because I just, there was a guy at my job. Well, I walked up on a guy that was laying in the parking lot. And I agree, SP, definitely never believed it was either. Right. And he, at the time, we did not know that he had diagnosed with fentanyl overdose. But when the EMS got there, they thought he had a stroke. We didn't know nothing about no fentanyl. We didn't know nothing about no drugs or anything. They got him in the ambulance, and you know, we looked at some videos, but they gave him a Narcan shot. And I didn't know nothing about the powder that you sniff up or whatever. You know, that's Narcan too. That's the way that they would give a lay person or a person that is not, you know, a healthcare worker or whatever. And actually nurses too, they'll give you that. I want you guys to know, I did find a site that, you know, I have to watch a video. It's like a minute video. And then you answer 4 questions on the video, which is easy. It's like ABCD. You know, if you watch the video, and you will watch it because you're going to be, you know, you're going to look. You're going to be thinking, okay, this video, they made it really easy to, you know, it wasn't no 5-minute video, 10-minute video. It's about a 1-minute video. And then once you watch the video and answer 4 questions, and the 4 questions has to do with the video, like, you know, what does Narcan reverse, and can it reverse alcohol, and what if you give it to somebody that don't need it? It don't do anything to them, which you need to know that. And then there's a position that you put them in, which I didn't know. It's you know, if you have to leave and go get help or make a phone call, you put them in a position, and the position is you lay them on their side. And I don't know if it's the right side or left side, but in the video, the person was laying on their right side. And you put their right arm straight up, and you put their knee, you flex their knee just like they're on their knee. The one leg is straight down, the right leg is straight down, and the left knee is up. And you put them on that side. And the reason why you want to do that is so that they won't throw up and then they aspirate, which is swallow their vomit, you know. Yo, after the fentanyl, someone gave her something or put it in her drink. We don't know, but she never did drugs. So when they knew she was drugged, she was a law student prior. Wow, really? She was a law student prior, and then now, oh my goodness. And now it's, oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Girl, Your sister, she can't even take care of herself now. Somebody this is why when you go to parties and clubs and stuff, everybody be like, oh girl, he brought me a drink, and oh girl, you set your drink down and come back and you're picking it up. No, you guys gonna have to be very careful, because people sit back and watch you and look and laugh, and it mess your whole life up. There was a couple of people that I know. I won't say their name, but they got drugged, and now they never the same either. That means Papa's home, but they're never the same now. They they're not like where you got to feed them like a baby and stuff like that, but they definitely need help. And I told you guys, if you lose oxygen to your brain, or your brain fries over fevers and things of that nature, you going to be mentally challenged. A lot of people don't like the R word. My mother didn't like the R word. And I told you I had a brother, he had a high fever, and yeah, they did get the fever down, but it lasted for so long, it fried, brain cells, and he never grew after that. He stayed that 10-year-old little boy, which he thinks like a 10-year-old. He acts like a 10-year-old, but he was a full-grown man. He grew up, but in his brain, he couldn't grow no more than that day. I mean, he know his name, he know how to spell it, but I mean, he think like a kid and he act like a kid. So, and I know that has nothing to do with fentanyl, but I'm saying if you don't have oxygen, then you lose brain cells. That's what happens. They die off really quick, and you don't grow them back. You don't get them back. They're gone. And so anyway, wow. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys, not come on here and waste time, but yeah, I'm just so upset about. And if anybody got anything to say, I'll put the thing on here and I'll give you time to, if you want to come up, you can come up. If you want to call in, you can call in. But I'll give you time. If you want to say anything about what, this child and the parent, I just assume to wait for some more information. And every time when they have information, it's good. I've been following the case with the Jonathan Quellies or something, the one that had sex with his niece and then killed his niece. I've been watching that. No court for Corey again. SP, can you check your message, please? Yes, this is SP.
Hey, SP.
Yes, what's up?
Hey, there was no court for Corey again.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just letting y'all know there was no court.
Okay, you must have came in late, Tina, because we already discussed that.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Well,
yeah, but I was here early. I came in early.
You came in early, but you must have not stayed in because I talked about it for 10 minutes. Now, this is what I was telling them. There's no court because there was a withdrawal for the motion.
Right.
Okay.
Right on. So is it going to be postponed for November?
Well, when you withdraw your motion, you just withdraw your motion. And this is not the first time. They withdrew it in August, too.
Right.
They withdraw it in June also.
That's right. So, I don't know. It's just too much going on.
No, not really. Well, that's why, Amina, she probably had a motion for something in there. And now that he's out on bond, she don't need that motion,
Right. Right. Do you think that he skipped town?
Why would I think he skipped town? Of course not.
I mean, you don't know what these fools might do.
Let me tell you. First of all, he has one of those things on his leg. And if he skipped town, there will be a warrant for his arrest.
Well, I just want him to mess up one good time.
Well, yeah, that wasn't the case. The case was the motion was withdrawn.
Right. Okay.
Now, how did you get skipped out of town out of withdrawn?
No. I mean, I'm just going 1,000 miles a minute right now.
That's why I was telling you guys, I said, when November gets here, this case is so like, it may happen, it may not happen, they may switch the date and time. Girl, I don't have $1,200 to come down there and look at the wall.
Right, me neither.
You know what I'm saying? I would have to take off work, which is good. I can do that, and that's not a problem. But I can't take out of school. So, my class is going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I can only be there for one day. And, and I'm weighing in. I'm like, that's a lot of money for one day. But then again, this is a murder trial. So it's going to happen. But the time or the date may change, a little bit.
Like it did before.
Well, it's going to change a little. It ain't going to change a lot.
Okay.
It ain't going to change a lot because they have a set date right now. They have November, the 6th?
November 6th.
They have November the 6th. So between the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, they're going to start that trial.
Right.
They're going to start it.
Right. Okay.
Now, if I was in town, I bet my money I would be there on the 6th. But not in town and pulling up, it may be the 6th.
I'm going to be there on the 6th.
You're going to be there on the 6th? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to be there on the 6th.
Okay.
I'll be there on the 6th and the 7th.
Yeah.
Now, I can't spend the whole week with Corey, and I can't hold his hand, but I will be there for those 2 days.
Well, a lot of cases now, even though that the victim is not present, they're still finding them guilty.
Right.
Like that Jonathan, they never found that girl's body.
No, they never.
And they found him guilty. And then you remember the cousin that had supposedly allegedly killed the cousin? They didn't find her body, and they found him guilty too.
That's right.
But, and the California City boys, they didn't find their bodies, and they found them guilty.
That's right.
But here's the thing. In this case, you got nobody seeing anything. The kids are too young, and the adults is all kin to Corey. And they say they ain't seen Corey, they ain't seen the baby. So that tells you what? Nothing.
Right.
You got a date, the last date the child was seen, and then that's it.
That's it.
So
speaking of that lady, husband, killed. You know what I'm trying to say? The lady's husband killed her. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, her trial started. His trial started.
On what?
On the murder trial charges on her case.
On what case?
Huh?
On what case?
Okay, there was a lady that went to church. Okay. And
Oh.
then her husband.
Oh yeah.
Murdered her.
Yes. Her trials. His trial started already.
Yes, his trial started Monday.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was quick.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
So, yeah.
You know?
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get up in here and give somebody else a chance. I'm sorry I'm late. I've been in my hiding place. If nobody don't know, I'm not gonna say it, but I've been hiding.
All righty.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys. Like I said, I'm not going to hold you today. Today is Monday. It's not a good day. Just looking up the stuff and all the information that we found. I gave it to you guys yesterday. And Nicholas Dominica died on Friday, and 3 other children was hospitalized. Police said they found a trap door with it's just there's no new information that came out on that so far. So I'm just letting you guys know I searched everywhere and I have not found no new information. Let me see this. See. Oh, okay, hold on. There is some new information. Okay, here we go. Let me see what they're saying. The manhunt for the fugitive husband of the Bronx daycare owner charged in the drug exposure death of a toddler has expanded to the Dominican Republic. So they're thinking that he done went back on over to the Dominican Republic. Federal law enforcement sources told the Post Monday, which is today, cops have been searching for the husband of Gray Mendez DeVenture since 1-year-old Nicholas Felice Dominique died from suspected fentanyl poison at her Divino Nino daycare, with the original fugitive task force now following up leads inside the couple's native country. We are working together to find him nationally and over in the Dominican Republic, the source said. Mendez, 36, and accused cohort of Carlesto Acevedo, 41, her husband's cousin, was charged with murder, assault, and child endangerment on September the 16th, one day after Nicholas and 3 other children was found critically ill at the child care facility, described by authorities as a front for a drug peddling operation. Mendez, on the run husband, was described by police source as the main player in the alleged drug selling operation at the basement daycare center. So they're saying that now the husband was described by police source as the main player. Okay. Let me see what else they're saying. Meanwhile, Mendez's attorney claimed that cops have the wrong person in custody. She's paying for somebody else's crime, basically, lawyer says. You know, this lady doesn't fit the profile of a drug dealer. Areta said she had $100 in the bank. They're saying that the daycare provider woman, Gray Mendez, had $100 in the bank. From what I understand, she was keeping down 2 jobs, not necessarily someone who's out there dealing with a kilo weight. He said Mendez's own child was enrolled at the daycare and would have been in harm's way as well had he not been taken on a trip by a relative that day. She's distraught about what happened with the children, especially Nico. Arenda said she feels that she's being held unjustly. Federal and law enforcement dispute that claim, however, saying Monday that Mendez's 2-year-old son was himself exposed to drugs last year and treated without police being summoned. Hold on. Stop the press. So the federal and local law enforcement sources disputed that claim, however, saying Monday that Mendez's 2-year-old son was himself exposed to drugs last year and treated without police being summoned. The boy had allegedly been kept away from the daycare center after that incident, the sources said. Oh my God. She purposely kept her son away from the center after almost losing him after he was exposed to drugs, a source alleged. Oh my God. See what I'm saying? Arando didn't immediately return a request for comments Monday. Now, first of all, let me tell you what this young lady said. See, if the child, okay, is Zan in the building? Zan, is you in the building? She didn't call the baby Nicholas. She even called the baby by his nickname, Nico. She don't know. She said she feels bad, especially for Nico. Hold on, the child only been there for a whole week. But you got the baby's nickname, Nico. I'm not going to let somebody give my child a nickname, Nico. Anyway, she telling on herself, but she feels bad about Nico. Federal and local law enforcement sources disputed that claim. Okay, she purposely kept her son away from the center after almost losing him after he was exposed to drugs. Okay, Aranda didn't immediately return a request for comment Monday. Prosecutors said Mendez made several calls, including, listen, I told you she made several calls. She was calling their mothers saying, come get your kid. But anyway, including 2 to her husband before calling 911 after she found the toddlers unconscious around 3:30 p.m. The 3 other sickened kids, a pair of 2-year-old boys and the 8-month-old sister of one of them, were saved with the overdose reversing drug Narcan. But Nicholas was pronounced dead. Okay. Listen, y'all. Let me just read that one more time. That just makes me just. The federal and local law enforcement sources disputed that claim, however, saying Monday that Mendez's 2-year-old son was himself exposed to the drugs last year and treated without police being summoned. How did they know that? How would they know if the police wasn't called? The boy had allegedly been kept away from the daycare center after that incident, the sources says. Mendez, who along with Brento also faces federal drug charges, is suspected of deleting more than 21,000 messages with her husband dating to 2021 before turning her phone over to cops, according to the court document. Authorities said they uncovered a kilo of fentanyl sitting on mats the children slept on, according to court papers. They also seized several kilo presses, which are usually used to combine the drug with cocaine or heroin. Last week, police said they found an additional sachet of drugs hidden under a trap door at the Kingsbridge building. Mendez's ex-husband family also told the Post over the weekend that she duped him into a sham marriage to get into the U.S. from the Dominican Republic. This is what I wanted to keep, and I couldn't find it again. So this is the ex-husband's family said she duped him into a sham marriage to get into the U.S. Federal and Bronx prosecutors said they're confident they'll eventually catch up with her new husband. We're going to get him, Assistant U.S. Attorney said last week. Look out for more on that soon. That's what he says. We're going to get him. Look out for more on that soon. Okay. So they done went all the way. He done left the United States. We don't even know what he looked like, but they do. They're not even putting his picture out there. That was an hour ago that was put out there, you guys. So anyway, I just wanted you guys to know. Here it is right here, where that one little situation was. I'll read it to you guys. This is what the sister-in-law said of her first husband. I'll read it and then we'll go. Because the Republic 9 years ago, okay, she says, Gray Mendez was able to move to the Big Apple from her native Dominican Republic 9 years ago, thanks to her green card marriage to Juan, a Bronx man she hooked up with through a mutual friend. His sister said she gave a very false impression to my brother that she wanted to be married. So he brought her over from the DR for marriage. But when she got here, she just wanted to smoke hookah and to drink a lot. And my brother, he's not like that, said the sister from the family's Fort George apartment on Friday. She wasn't interested in the marriage for him. She just wanted to come to America. She didn't seem like she was interested in my brother at all when she got to America, and they ended up getting a divorce because of the terribleness of it all, said the sister, and other family members asked not to be identified. He never wanted to be out, and she just wanted to go out to clubs, get promiscuous. She continued. Mendez, 36, only visited the family's home twice. She didn't care to get to know her husband's family, the sister laminated. And that was enough for Ventura, that's her ex-husband, father, to determine that she's a very, very bad person and disapproved of her for his son. He said, my son, who has an education, isn't into any of that, he added. After the couple thankfully divorced following a terrible couple of years, the Ventura family completely cut ties with Mendez and hadn't thought about her again until they learned about the September the 15th horror at Divino Nino daycare. 1-year-old Nicholas Felice Dominique died, and 3 other children was hospitalized after inhaling dangerous amounts of fentanyl while under Mendez's care at the Morris Avenue apartment, which authorities said was also a drug front. Mendez and Calixto Avindo, a 41-year-old man who was renting the downstairs of the apartment, were hit with murder, assault, and child endangerment charges following the incident. Mendez is being held in Brooklyn and await federal charges. Authorities have since uncovered a platform of drugs and drugs paraphernalia at the scene, including a kilo of fentanyl sitting on mats the children slept on. Kilo presses are devices usually used to combine the drugs with cocaine and heroin and other powdery substances that are being tested. Ventura has been in counseling because of all the damage Mendez did to him and has refused to discuss his ex-wife's alleged crime with anyone, his sister said. Ventura, who is now remarried, has a son, and remains living in the Bronx, according to his sister, could not be reached. Mendez really just put my brother through hell for the years that they were married, and he is really going through it still, his sister said. We find it offensive that the name of the actual place is Divino Nino because that's baby Jesus, and we really believe very much in baby Jesus. And for a child to die there, for me, That's really triggering. I told you that's what they said about this woman. She was something else. Hey, Rachel, everybody's doing fine. So anyway, you guys, I just wanted you guys to know what was going on, and we're going to touch on a new subject come Wednesday. All right? So until they find the husband, we'll follow it, but it'll be just, on the back burner until this goes out, until somebody speaks, okay? Way too much going on to be a daycare center for those innocent babies. Yeah. So I just believe what I believe, but some people, they stick and they stay on what they believe in. And I do the same thing. So people don't get mad at me. It just tells it's this woman, her own child had an overdose of fentanyl, and that's why she don't take her own kid. But girl, that woman, see, like if you knew this and it almost happened to your kid, but you got other people's kids in there, she's very reckless. She'll do life. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here, you guys. I'll see you guys Wednesday. We'll have some good news by Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and reach out and try to get that interview. So try to come in here Wednesday and we'll see what happens. All right, you guys be good, be safe, and be nice to each other. Bye.